Mukhang maleta ang nagpapapayat sa kanila, no?
How can I be the mastermind? The budget does not begin in the House. It begins in the executive. Corruption of this scale is not a one-man operation.
Oo nga, kaya nga sinasabi namin kasama ka dun. Kasama ka sa nag-enable ng ganong system. Eh bakit si Luis Tro? Nang dahil kay Speaker!
I will not allow myself to be turned into the scapegoat so that others who are actually accountable can walk away clean.
I'm really worried na na-prepare niya na kasi siguro yung mga dapat ma-prepare legally. So, it will lead to the dismissal of his case. So, pag naging presidente si Inday, hindi na siya makukulong. Double jeopardy na eh. Ano lang talaga to, it's really about himself being, once and for all, absolved doon sa mga corruption issues. But of course, the corruption question is not gonna end from him. Even if sabihin na natin na ma-absolve to siya later on. So, sabihin na natin, putang ina, magaling ka, na-absolve mo ang sarili mo. But no one is going to believe, no one in their right mind is going to believe that nothing was corrupted in the 2023, 2024, and 2025 budget. So, if Martin, let us say, if Martin was absolved, na-dismiss yung kaso niya, are people going to stop looking for the real culprit? No, hindi rin naman. Kung matalo mo kami sa legal warfare, Martin, it doesn't mean na walang mananagot. Sabi ni Martin, hindi siya. Ang sabi ni Martin, iba. Okay? So it's gonna be Saldico or Chisa Escudero or both of them. 'Di ba? But another red flag here is this. Ba't di mo sinama yung Committee on Appropriations ng 19th Congress na si Grace po? Ba't di mo siya sinama? May usapan na kayo?
For a long time, I chose to remain silent. I did so out of respect for the legal process. I did so because I did not want to add more noise to an already divisive issue. I did so because I believed that if I cooperated fully, submitted myself to the proper authorities, and answered every question asked of me, the truth would eventually speak for itself. But there comes a point when silence is no longer prudence. My silence has been abused and weaponized to build a narrative that is false, twisted, and unfair.
Pero ang weird kasi, ngayon na-file yung kaso sa Sandigan Bayan, pagkatapos meron rin siyang statement today na nagawa. So parang, is it too coincidental? So mukhang stage no? Mukhang stage, mukhang parang alam niya na kinasuhan na siya, so therefore, nag-release rin siya ng statement about it. And is it just a little bit too coincidental? 'Di ba? Bakit hindi siya nagsalita ng ganyan? Nung ombudsman pa lang, 'di ba? Nung sinabi pa lang ni Boying na inimbestigahan siya, ganyan-ganyan, ba't di siya nagsalita agad? Tapos sabi niya, ngayon lang, kasi ito yung silence is no longer prudent at this moment in time. Feeling ko, tiniming nyo na sa Sandigan Bayan kasi alam nyo mahina yung kaso. So pag nagsalita kayo na dismiss to, goods na, 'di ba?
I will face this head on and I will speak with facts because the truth deserves to be heard. Today, I'm taking this opportunity to speak directly to the Filipino people. From the start of this controversy, I have been cooperative. I personally appeared before the proper authorities. I voluntarily submitted my affidavit to the ICI. I provided the information and documents asked of me. I did not hide. I did not run. I did not evade scrutiny. I faced it head on within the proper channel because I know there is no evidence that proves I committed plunder, conspiracy to commit plunder, or any similar offense that the Ombudsman may be contemplating against me. And because I have nothing to hide, I am today authorizing the immediate public release of the affidavit I submitted, together with all supporting information so that the Filipino people can judge for themselves who has been transparent and who is simply being politically targeted. Now let us address the most absurd accusation of all, that I am supposedly the mastermind of this corruption scheme. How can I be the mastermind? I was the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, but the House of Representatives is only one part of the branch of government.
Gago, no? Siyempre, House of Representatives Speaker ka, ikaw yung nagtitimo ng House Speaker, anak ng House of Representative. The mere fact na merong matinding pag-unite ang House of Representative speaks volume. Kasi hindi naman supposedly ganyan pinapatakbo ang House of Representative eh. Hindi naman ganun dapat. Kasi yung, sa totoo lang, kapag sobrang united ng House of Representatives, yun yung nakakatakot. Kasi supposedly away-away kayo dapat dyan. And the mere fact na napag-isa mo yung mga tao sa House of Representative, anong ginawa mo? Paano yun? 'Di ba? Hindi naman barkadahan yung House of Representative. Ang natural course ng mga tao sa House of Representative is really you are going to belong to a certain block.
The national budget is not conceived, executed, implemented, bidded out, supervised, and completed by one congressman or even by Congress alone, and certainly not by the Speaker of the House. I want to make this simple and clear. The national budget does not depend on just one person. The budget does not begin in the House. It begins in the executive. The agencies and departments prepare their proposals. The executive consolidates them into the National Expenditure Program, and that program is then submitted to Congress. From there, the House deliberates, but the House is not one person, and it is certainly not the Speaker alone. It is a collegial body made up of hundreds of members, multiple committees, vice chairs, and institutional processes. In fact, there are around 85 committees, each with its own jurisdiction, leadership, and members. No speaker can personally control every committee, much less direct the actions of other branches or government agencies. And in the Appropriations Committee itself, there are already more than 100 members, with many vice chairs and Representative Toby Tiangco, who has been very vocal and upfront on this issue.
Pero kasi sinasabi ni Martin, ang dami-daming committee sa House of Representatives, wala naman akong control dyan. O wala kang control, pero ikaw nagsisupervise niyan. So, ngayon, yung mga taong malalagay dyan, lahat yun, ikaw yung meron kang say. Meron kang say doon, especially doon sa Committee on Appropriations. Meron kang say dyan. Kasi yun din yung sinasabi ni Saldico di ba? Hindi siya gagawa kung walang approval ni Martin. I think yung reasoning na gano'n ni Martin na sinasabi niya, wala naman akong control dyan kasi may control ka, ikaw may hawak ng MOOE. Ikaw may hawak ng budget
Over the past months, was himself a vice chair of the Appropriations Committee in the previous Congress. So I have to ask, if there were real concerns about irregularities in the budget process, why were these not formally raised during the deliberations or even during the plenary? The budget deliberation does not stop in the House. The Senate also conducts its own deliberations, reviews its own version, and plays its own role in shaping the final budget, and it is not a bystander. It is an active constitutional participant in this process. After that, the House and the Senate reconcile their versions in the bicameral conference committee. Only then is the final bill transmitted to the President for approval or veto. So let us be honest about what becomes law. The national budget is not the act of one person or one chamber. It is the product of a constitutional chain involving the executive, the House, and the Senate. This is something I want the public to understand. The budget process is collective, multi-layered, and shared. Accountability must apply to everyone involved, not selectively assigned after the fact, and certainly not when it becomes politically useful. If corruption were to occur in a magnitude made known to us over the past months, then it's clear that the real corruption does not happen at the level of the general legislative approval alone. It happens at the level of execution of the General Appropriations Act. It happens when projects are implemented.
So basically, kung matatandaan nyo, si Benny Abante, nung kakastart pa lang ng 20th Congress, and bago mag-end yung 19th Congress. Tapos nung nag-start na yung 20th Congress, before siya parang mawala for a while. Yun-mention nyo na yan Yan talaga yung narrative nila na walang kasalanan ang legislative. Kasi, at the end of the day, ang magre-release ng budget, DBM. Nasabi niya, hindi naman kami kasali dyan kasi taga-approve lang naman kami ng budget, Eneso. Consistent dito sa play ni Martin. Ganon.
It happens where projects are actually implemented, where procurement is undertaken, where monetary disbursements are actually made. And it happens when substandard projects are passed off as legitimate or when ghost projects are made to appear real. That is why command responsibility is far more logically relevant in the executive branch, where there is actually supervision, operational control, and implementation on the ground than in the collegial legislative body, where constitutional role is deliberation and appropriation. Congress does not build flood control projects. Congress does not conduct procurement. Congress does not inspect whether a project was actually completed. Congress...
Pero kung sinasabi nila, hindi kami nag-i-implement, hindi kami nagbibid, hindi kayo nag-aano. Oo, hindi kayo. Pero meron kayong nakikialam kayo in some other capacity. Kasi kung titingnan natin yung process, yung totoong process, wala talaga kayo doon sa totoong process. Hindi naman natin kine-question yung totoong process Ang kine-question natin dito yung ginagawa ninyo na hindi nakalagay doon sa proseso. 'Di ba? Yung influence ninyo doon sa contractor, yung influence ninyo doon sa mga DPWH officers. 'Di ba? Yun yung major na issue diyan.
Congress does not certify whether the work done was substandard or not. So if the allegation is that there was a systemic corruption in flood control implementation, then the public should ask the obvious question: where does implementation actually happen? Definitely not in the session hall of the House of Representatives. Here's the simplest way to test that theory that I am the mastermind of this scheme. If I were truly involved in a fraudulent scheme of this nature, then the first place one would expect to see that pattern would be in my own district, in the projects most easily associated with me. You would have seen it in Tacloban, but I say this with absolute certainty. You won't see it in my district. My district has 0 ghost and 0 substandard flood control projects. 0. And that is verifiable. To prove this point,
But, Tambi, your province is also very, very underdeveloped. And that is a mark of corruption as well. Naging Speaker of the House ka na, tangina yung syudad mo, bulok pa rin hanggang ngayon. Kung ikaw naging Speaker of the House ka na at hindi mo pa rin na-improve yung probinsya mo or yung distrito mo, something is seriously wrong with you. Yun yung nakakatakot na pattern. Kasi kaya pa magkakaroon ng project yan na maayos. 'Di ba?
I'm authorizing my staff to share and release to the public the list of all the projects in my district that the authorities may deem attributable to me. Let the public scrutinize and verify for themselves. As I already mentioned, corruption of this scale is not a one-man operation.
Oo nga, kaya nga sinasabi namin kasama ka dun. Kasama ka sa nag-enable ng ganong system. Ang daming pinapromise ni Martin, no? Ipapublicize daw niya yung affidavit niya, ipapublicize daw niya yung list ng mga projects associated daw sa kanya sa Tacloban. So, intayin namin yan, ha? I think, ready na to si Martin na madismissan siya ng kaso. Tingin ko yung hindi niya pagsasalita ng matagal na panahon, hindi siya pag-prepare niya dito, is a preparation para sa isang kaso na madidismiss lang rin naman eventually. Pag na-dismiss yung kaso ni Martin sa Sandigan Bayan, alam na. Ang tanong, bakit ang mga projects detail nyo is only available when you permit it? It's supposed to be available publicly ever since Barberong Buwaya ka.
Requires 2 things: budget decisions and implementation on the ground. With respect to how the budget was deliberated in Congress, let me say this categorically. I was not a part of the BICAM and the small committee budget deliberations. Yes, I was updated on the general outcomes of the deliberations, but I had no visibility with regard to the specific details of the discussions.
But they report to you. Who chose them? Who chose the member of the small committee? To whom do they report? I think since ganito yung mga assertions ni Martin, so ikaw, Stella Kimbo, what can you say? Purely ikaw lang ba ang nag-decide bilang chairman ng Committee on Appropriation? Kayo lang ba purely ang nag-decide who's going to be the part of the small committee and the BICAM? So dapat yung mga congressman na involved dito, na sinasabi ni Martin, hindi ako involved. Anong relationship nyo kay Martin? Bakit si Luis Tro? Nang dahil kay Speaker. Wala naman talaga siyang tinayo kasi wala talaga siyang proyekto, puro lang siya ayuda at pang-bribe sa sistema para ibulsa yung pera niya, yung mga pangarap na maging presidente.
Including particular amendments or insertions approved during these closed-door deliberations. Records would show that I did not participate in those meetings and I was not privy to what exactly transpired during the deliberations. However, 2 people were instrumental in making those budget decisions: Chis Escudero and Zaldico. And once the budget becomes law, the work of implementing flood control projects, or any project for that matter, is solely within the purview of the executive, including the DPWH, certainly not by legislators. I understand the anger of the public. The Filipino people have every right to be angry.
Teka lang alam mo, naisip ko tuloy, the reason why they only cover 1 fiscal year, yung di ba sabi ni Attorney Trixie, 2023 lang na budget ang involved dito. Tingin ko, tinatest the water nila kung madidismiss to, file din nila yung dalawa so that alam na nila kung paano madidismiss yung kaso. Baka ganun.
Because stolen public funds are taxes derived from hard-earned money. I'm not asking the public to look away. I'm asking everyone to look where the evidence points, not where it is politically convenient or politically motivated. So I ask the Ombudsman and the public these questions. Who has been named in sworn testimonies and affidavits? Whose name actually appeared in credible accounts made under oath? If there are sworn accounts pointing to other personalities across the chain, whether in budget deliberations or in implementation, then those leads must be pursued with the same seriousness and the same urgency. Accountability cannot be selective. For months, I chose silence because I believe in our legal system and in the rule of law. But my silence is now being exploited with politically engineered and fabricated narratives. What's even more disturbing, and this is something that cannot be ignored, is that there are emerging indications that certain sectors are attempting to weaponize individuals, including Zaldico, to construct a narrative that serves their own interests. So when the legal processes is being used against me as a political demolition job, then I will have no choice but to defend myself. And I will defend myself fully. I will not allow myself to be turned into the scapegoat so that others who are actually accountable can walk away clean. If this is a political play to push me out and close the story, tarnishing my name and my reputation, then I'm telling everyone now, I will not go quietly and I will not go alone. I will not be the fall guy for other people's corruption. I have been in public life long enough, I have seen enough, I have heard enough. I know many things about this current administration and past administrations as well. And I say this carefully. If this matter is to be handled as a legal issue, then let it be handled legally, soberly, and according to evidence. But if certain people insist on waging this in the court of public opinion, then I will have no choice but to defend myself publicly as well. To the Ombudsman, I say this with full respect. If your office truly believes in justice, then follow the sworn statements, follow the records, and follow the evidence all the way. Do not stop where it is politically convenient. Do not settle for the easiest headline. Do not confuse public pressure with prosecutorial duty. What I ask of the Office of the Ombudsman is simple. Follow the rule of law and due process. This is a serious matter and it should be handled with seriousness.
Alam niyo yung ganyang panawagan ni Martin, follow the law, follow the kinemerut. Ang scary dyan, kasi baka naka-devise na sila ng legal narrative in order to absolve him of the case. Tapos, syempre, babalikan tong speech na to. Tapos, yan naman talaga hinihingi ko na ganito na i-follow niyo lang yung batas, i-follow niyo yung ebidensya, yung mga ganong etchos. Ang nakakatakot kasi law bender tong mga to Bendalo yung drama nila So, it's actually very scary. Sa totoo lang it is a real risk na baka nakapag-prepare na sila mga affidavit, sworn statement, dokumento kasi alam nila yung nangyari dun sa alam nila hindi naman nila pinublicize yung ICI reports di ba? Pagkatapos yung flood control investigation sa Senate, hindi pa rin naman yun napipirmahan. And hindi tayo satisfied doon sa ICI investigation, neither doon sa Senate investigation on the flood control. From those two, pwedeng makapag-devise ng narrative, legal narrative, si Martin Romualdez, so that he would be able to find his way out from the story told doon sa ICI and doon sa Senate. Martin Romualdez is not a puchu-puchu lawyer, and he is surrounded by real competent lawyers. And ang chismis sa kaparangan, chismis lang naman ito. Kapag kunwari merong mga hearing na very important for the House of Representatives, and they wanted certain flow for that specific hearing, merong law firm, chismis lang ito Martin, pwede nyo namang i-deny yan or whatever. Pero kasi masyadong malakas tong kwentuhan dito Yung takbo ng mga hearing, like for example, yung sa TRICOM, EJK hearing, yung kay Alice Guo hearing, merong script na nakahanda, question and answers na nakahanda. At ito ay ginagawa ng isang law firm na related kay Martin. Yun ang kwento sa kaparangan. What I'm trying to say is this. Nakita natin yung performance ng House of Representatives. Nakita natin yung flow ng mga questions. So, yung parang, talaga, yung very organized ba sila? Ito yung topic niya, sumunod na congressman, ito yung topic niya, sumunod na congressman, ganito, ganyan. The attack is very well designed. Yes, it looks like meron silang script. And the script is being done daw by a law firm associated to Martin. So, hindi ako magugulat kung because of their access to the ICI report and the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee report yung sa pamumuno ni Ping Lacson, they can actually devise a narrative that would allow Martin Romualdez an exit route. Kasi capable si Martin Romualdez sa legal warfare Kayang-kaya niya yan Perhaps not on his own, but he knows really good people who would be able to fight the legal warfare for him. Tapos yung ganito, no, yung, I'm sorry kasi yung ganyang tono niya na, tingnan natin ang ebidensya, basahin natin ang mga sworn statements, mga affidavit. I'm really worried na na-prepare niya na kasi siguro yung mga dapat ma-prepare legally. So, it will lead to the dismissal of his case. So, pag naging presidente si Inday, hindi na siya makukulong. Double jeopardy na eh.
Not with haste, theatrics, or shortcuts. I'm ready and willing to respond to every allegation in the proper forum through the proper pleadings, motions, and submissions that the law allows. And to those who think they can throw me under the bus to save themselves, this is what I have to say to you. I am ready to defend my name. My silence should not be mistaken for weakness, ignorance, or fear. I know enough to defend myself, and if I am forced to do so in public, I will. Maraming salamat po.
Siguro ang maganda lang dyan, kasi ini-implicate ni Martin yung wala akong kinalaman dyan. House Speaker lang ako. 'Di ba? So, ang sabi niya, si Cheese yan, tsaka si Saldico. 'Di ba? Sila nakakaalam yan. Si Cheese yan, tsaka si Saldico. Ang nakakaloka lang doon, bakit si Cheese? Si Cheese, yung position ni Cheese is the same position that you have in the House of Representatives. She's as a Senate President. Kung ang sinasabi ni Martin na argument is wala akong kinalaman kasi House Speaker ako, wala akong kinalaman sa mga committee, hindi ko yan control and things like that, hindi ba dapat yun din ang defense ni Cheese Escudero? Kasi Senate President si Cheese ba't tinuturo mo si Cheese? 'Di ba? Hindi ba dapat ang ituturo mo yung counterpart ni Saldico sa Senate, which is si Grace Poe? Weird lang, 'di ba? Weird lang. Bakit hindi si Grace Poe yung equivalent ni Saldico na itinuturo ni Martin? And that is really that is really a red flag here. I think yung yung may value talaga tong sinabi na to ni Martin when it comes to laglagan. Kasi sinasabi niya ako walang kasalanan kasi ganito, tapos lang talaga to, it's really about himself being once and for all absolved doon sa mga corruption issues. But of course, the corruption question is not gonna end from him. Even if sabihin na natin na ma-absolve to siya later on. So sabihin na natin, putang ina, magaling ka, na-absolve mo ang sarili mo. But no one is going to believe, no one in their right mind is going to believe that nothing was corrupted in the 2023, 2024, and 2025 budget. So, if Martin, let us say, if Martin was absolved, na-dismiss yung kaso niya, are people going to stop looking for the real culprit? No, hindi rin naman. But anyway, because everyone believes na, ikaw to Martin, putang ina mo, House Speaker ka ganyan. They're just, I'm pretty sure they're going to pin this to someone else. And it is understandable. Politically, it is understandable na ganun yung gagawin nila na, sige, wala akong kasalanan, iba may kasalanan. Kasi kailangan talaga natin ng ulong pugot So, ang naghahanap lang sa atin dito, ang hinahanap lang natin dito is, kung matalo mo kami sa legal warfare, Martin, it doesn't mean na walang mananagot. In 2022, sa 2022 dismiss, pwede pa naman sa 2023, 2024, 2025 budget, kasali pa rin siya, hindi double jeopardy, sabi ni Happy Fam. Pero alam mo, sa tingin ko, kapag kunwari na pa-dismiss nila to, lalakas yung loob nila magpa-dismiss ng ibang fiscal years. Sabi ni Martin, hindi siya. Ang sabi ni Martin, iba. Okay, so it's gonna be Saldico or Cheese Escudero or both of them, 'di ba? But another red flag here is this. Ba't di mo sinama yung Committee on Appropriations ng 19th Congress na si Grace Poe? Ba't di mo siya sinama? May usapan na kayo? Bakit si Cheese at si Saldi lang? So, Martin is also saying that wala namang kaming kinalaman dyan yung korupsyon nangyayari sa executive, hindi sa amin. Ang nangyayari, yung korupsyon nangyayari sa executive lang. Pero alam mo kasi, Martin, in the first place, putang ina mo, okay? Ang sinasabi nga namin dito, sobrang institutionalized ng korupsyon na merong putahan na nangyayari from the time that you legislate the budget up until its implementation. Kasi yung singit-singit ninyo ng budget dyan, hindi naman yan hindi naman yan gawain lang ng appropriations The least na responsibility mo is to make sure na hindi bonggang-bongga yung mga insertions dyan. Pati yung mga pinasak ninyo sa unprogrammed funds. Pero hinayaan mo under your leadership. Eh, kung ganun pala, di ba, command responsibility kayo ng command responsibility. Ba't may hinayaan na ganyan yung track ng 19th Congress? You are at fault.